Hey everyone, we're back with the Great Ace Attorney. Last time we may have gotten to the end of the case or not. It feels like it, but well, no, it's definitely not. I'm not satisfied with the answer we've come to. Because we haven't even addressed the headache yet. This crime was premeditated, it wasn't a cat that did it. Anyway. Well, or watch the cat be evil. We haven't seen the cat. Maybe the cat's like 7 feet tall. It has like a mustache. Why don't you tell us now, Miss Pavlova? That's exactly what happened last night. Oh yeah, I forgot to... I don't want to accidentally skip. So I'll just turn that back on the next time we have a Holmes thing. It was a little after 1 in the morning. It was so late, but I hadn't had time to feed Darka. So I gave her some food. And then, all of a sudden, she scratched me and jumped out of my hands. Also, we haven't addressed where the cat is yet. People do say that cats become very anxious and nervous in new environments. She was so fast, she disappeared through the ventilator before I could stop her. That is how you acquire the rather nasty wound on the back of your hand, I take it? Like, as is, the culprit's either strong enough because he's the only other person on the case, right? Or we're gonna meet a third person. Also, it's kind of weird that Grimsby has his own thing still. I wonder if that's gonna be relevant. I'd read the rules on the wall. I knew that I was not allowed Darka with me. Yes, modern science suggests that animals can carry infectious diseases. But no, the precaution, really. So I listened and listened, trying to hear if there was some noise in the next cabin. It was very quiet. I was sure. Someone was there? He must be sleeping. So at that point, I thought it safe to try to lure the kid in back again. By dangling the toy through the ventilator and into the adjoining cabin. Darka always loves this toy, but it didn't work. Nothing worked. Tried using your favorite toy, tried whistling to her softly, but nothing. She didn't return. So the faint whistling sound Kazuma wrote about in his diary was Miss Pavlova trying to retrieve her pet. Kids have a press pen as how do you say that one? That sounds weird. She remained hidden in the shadows when frightened. Yes, so there's nothing else I could do. I just had to wait until she had calmed down. But then... Thud! Kazuma just broke his back. Not his neck, though. I nearly passed out with shock. I heard her cry out, and then... Oh, such a dreadful bang. Then afterwards, nothing. It's totally silent. Kazuma was... And if he fell instantly and, like, he would have died instantly, right? How would he have ridden toward... Well, maybe Pavlova did that. Well, when the appearance of the brown marks in the floor, it seems likely that what you heard was the victim stepping on the glass bell and tripping up. Oh, you tripped on the bell, not the... Okay, that... Okay. The SS Burya is a large vessel. Even she can pitch and roll violently without warning. Mr. Arsogi was already off balance as a result of the ship lurching where the kitten got under his feet. A combination of unfortunate factors could easily have caused him to fall over. But what became of the kitten afterwards? In the end, managed to get her to come back through the ventilator. I feel like that's a lie. Yet Darka is nowhere to be seen. I just forgotten to lock my case. I feel like someone came in and took it for some reason. Now she's disappeared again. Gracious, that cat is... And why is there a snake? That cat is insufferably restless as I am. Well, he knows something about himself at least. When I woke this morning, I heard that a young man in the cabin next door to mine had died. But I couldn't bring myself to tell anyone what had happened. I was too scared. Scared that they would send me back. Oh, hold on a minute. What about the snake? yeah, okay. You're right. Where is it? Snake isn't your friend, Miss Pavlova. Whose is it? Where did it come from? What on earth is such a dangerous creature doing on board this ship? Why is he smiling? Oh, I didn't say. Snake is my friend. His name is Piroshikel. I don't know how to say that properly. Hmm? What? What? Couldn't have said that 20 minutes ago? Snake belongs to you? He escaped from cage when emergency alarm sounded. I was looking for him. Did not expect to find him in here. Guess how did that snake get into this cabin? But animals are not permitted on board. Ha! We're at sea for 1 year. You want to be so long without close friend? That someone who understands? Couldn't you find someone a little more human who understands you better? Well, no, look at him. He's a nice boy. But, my dear burly fellow, a gargantuan venomous snake? Surely you can appreciate the danger you're putting everyone in. No venom. Hmm? Piroshikel, I don't know how to say that, does not have venom. What's the pun here? I don't know what the pun is. He is harmless, very long, but very gentle. He's adorable, like Granny. It's venomless? Yes, now he's hungry, so he's in a bad mood. Once I feed him, you'll see big smile. And you feed him what? Milk, I suppose? Ah, like they say milk chickens. What? Ridiculous. Snakes that drink milk are only in stupid stories. Real Shako eats mouses. Big, fat, round mouses. Ah. Oh, so is that what the mousetrap in the passageway out there is for? Oh, forget about that thing. Of course. How else can I catch my friend's favorite food? I think it's top of the food chain. The look in their eyes right now. Holmes, why are you the faceless protagonist? I'm scared. Refuses to drink milk. It can't hear a whistle. Can't climb up a bell cord. Not even venomless. How the deuce did something so inept land a starring role? Not my fault. Do not make up stories. First, I thought Holmes was talking about himself until I realized she was talking about the snake. Like Piroshikel has nothing to do with this incident. So that's what happened. That's the truth behind my best friend's tragic death. Come on, someone say something. Is it gonna be Susato again? Well, I'll let Yunosuke be the smart one for once. Miss Pavlova? I understand the difficult situation you found yourself in. I do sympathize, but like also she's gonna, let me probably, die. But please remember this. A young man lost his life. You're going to attempt to cover up your guilt with lies? Then no matter what the circumstances, I cannot forgive you. But what are you talking about, Miss Mikotoba? What lies? Miss Pavlova just confessed everything. It was just a series of unfortunate events. An accident. I'm no great detective like Mr. Sholmes. I don't have a gift for knowing the truth. But even I can see that was not the truth. Don't look at me. Don't you agree, Mr. Naruhodo? To be perfectly honest, yes. There's a discrepancy in Miss Pavlova's story, I'm sure of it. Just can't quite put I put my finger on it like 20 minutes ago. I confess, I was intending to let Scotland Yard deal with any outstanding issues on this matter. Oh. I'm only present here for a very specific reason. The truth is, you, Mr. Naruhodo, are simply a distraction. Distraction? Do hope you've not been finding your shackles too uncomfortable. What? Why? Come on! Not again! When did he do that? Especially as they're on your wrist as a result of my intervention. I was really hoping I could resolve matters before we made our next port call. You worry, Mr. Sholmes? Yes, but I overlooked one important detail. The deceased young man was a very close companion of yours, was he not? Yes, Kazuma was my closest friend. I owed him my freedom, even. In that case, we must follow this to its conclusion. No further distractions. You must uncover the real truth here, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, whatever that may be. The key to this is the discrepancy in Miss Pavlova's story, I'm sure. If I can chase that down, maybe the truth will become clear. The truth about how you really died. Also, we haven't addressed how she got on the boat yet, which I feel like is going to be important. But how that scene in the cabin really came to be. Alright, I'll see what I can do. Excellent. Thank you, Mr. Naruhodo. So then, shall we begin? Yes! What we should ponder first is the victim who lost his life in a cabin that was bolted shut from the inside. Was this truly an unfortunate accident? Was it in fact no accident at all? That is what we must establish in the first instance. But we've already established it, haven't we? The man tripped over the kid and then had climbed into his cabin via the ventilator. Tragic, yes, but still an accident. Hold it! Wait, let's just take a step back. Doesn't make sense if that's really what happened, does it? Wouldn't have to ask you to spell it out for me, I'm afraid. Yes, it's starting to take shape now. The clear contradiction between the facts, Miss Pavlova's story here. The evidence is right there in Kazuma's cabin. It's undeniable. His death couldn't possibly have been a mere accident. Really? Let's show our hand, Mr. Naruhodo. Time to present the evidence. Is this... I think it's the writing. That's my guess. Yes! The truth is clearly recorded in this photographic print. There's no way that Mr. Asogi could have left this message on the floor. That script. It's Russian, isn't it? It's his first time noticing that. Indeed it is. The word credit means wardrobe. I see what you mean. Most people would leave a dying message in their native language. Japanese in this case. But maybe he was studying Russian. Why would he study Russian to go to Britain? The simple language? He would have picked it up very fast. That doesn't seem likely. That's actually not the point. Makes no difference whether he knew Russian or not. Sorry? What do you mean? I think it's Russian, that if you know the English alphabet, learning the Russian alphabet is actually very easy. Of course, you then have to learn like grammar and like, you know, vocabulary, but exactly what I said before. There's no way that Mr. Asogi could have left this message on the floor. The reason why? Clearly explained in here. Damage to the cervical vertebrae resulting in instant death. Instant death. Ah! Which means, after the victim fell to the floor, he couldn't possibly have written anything. Because he was already dead! That's not the only reason either. There's something else we found in Mr. Asogi's cabin. A remnant of something that couldn't possibly have been there, but if what Miss Pavlova told us was true. What? Susato has noticed it too then. Putting this message on the floor aside, something else that gives the truth away. Another piece of evidence that proves this was no accident. In other words, it's not the mark on the floor, is it? That's the only thing I don't know why it's the mark. It's my badge! I haven't gone to present that to anyone yet. I don't see how it would be at the mark on the floor, but this is the only thing that makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah, of course it's this mark on the floor. I'll explain why. Let me just give me a minute. This broken piece of glass looks the mark on the floor. Couldn't that have just happened when he tripped over the cat? It's the glass bell the kitten had around its neck. We already know all about that. Broken in half and the victim tripped over the cat and fell. So we already have a satisfactory explanation. Oh! How would the other half be in the garbage? Where's the flaw in that logic? Fortunately, it's a very big flaw. A fatal flaw. What? That's really what happened? Then how did one half of the bell end up back here in this cabin? I mean, theoretically, well, no, okay, no, the way it was... Okay, I see. Yes, remember that we found the other half of the glass bell in that waste paper basket. Would you care to explain that, Miss Pavlova? Oh no. Both these pieces of evidence clearly point to the same conclusion. Now, when Mr. Asogi died last night in his cabin, there's someone else in the room. That same person deliberately arranged the scene to disguise the truth in order to cover up his or her own guilt. Yeah. Yes, there is someone else present in Mr. Asogi's. Oh, Russian holding. You're wasting time. Someone else was there. Ah, of course. We know this. What are you talking about? Bulkhead was bolted shut from inside. There's no way in or out. Oh, yes. Come on, I figured that out ages ago. Only other person in cabin when a young student died was you. All I have is silhouette.
Yes.
It's true. I was in the cabin when it happened. You're shut inside the cabin wardrobe, to be precise about the details. But I don't know Russian. There's no way I could have left that message. Not would have. No way you could have left that message. Be precise about the deal. Just shut up, Holmes. What do you mind? Forgive me, my dear fellow. I was laughing ahead of time. I knew it was coming. As I was saying, the person in question wrote the word wardrobe in Russian on the floor. In an attempt to incriminate me for the crime, even though I've been asleep in there the entire time. How do they know, though? Like, if it was Pavlova, then she could have heard Yunosuke talking, earlier through the vent. But I'm still not convinced it's her. The same person picked up the broken glass bell that had fallen to the floor, for fear of it becoming evidence that would show how Mr. Asogi really died. But why wouldn't this person have taken all the pieces of the bell away? Leaving half behind was always going to raise questions. Well, it was past 1 o'clock in the early hours of the morning. The cabin would have been quite dark. The single small lamp suspended from the ceiling would barely have cast any light onto the floor there. But there's not an outside window though, is there? So wouldn't it always be the same amount of light no matter if it was day or night? Little wonder then that the culprit failed to notice a fragment of the tiny item. It's not a fragment, it's half the thing. You all suspect me, don't you? I kind of think that maybe the culprit, who I think has to be strong enough at this point, because I do not believe it's her, planted it there. Like, did... Seaman strong enough. Nina's woman of sea, just started a strong sailor. 2 years ago, they noticed her dancing skills and she went away to join ballet company. But before, she was dancer on this ship. Oh, okay, so it could be the opposite then. I thought like she was kind of dragged into this as a co-conspirator, but it could be that the crew is covering up for her. A member of the ship's band. But how does the revolutionary come into this? Maybe that's a later case that goes into that. We do not accuse Ship's Angel of being criminal. So that's it. Say that when young student died, was there in his cabin. That is not possible. I give my tooth. Which one? Well, this is almost interesting. Why would you give your tooth, Gray? How can you be so sure? You're a great detective. You should know. Look truth in eyes. Cabin bulkhead was bolted shut from inside. Nobody could go in the cabin. Not Nina, not anyone. Or you want to tell me that killer can walk through locked doors? Yet, it's impossible. He's right. But wait, I've read about this in detective stories. People often tie thread around door latches. They can open. I thought Yunosuke heard about this. They can open and close them from the outside. Thread? You stupid. Those bulkheads are not barn doors. Certainly not. These are watertight doors. One would expect to find in any modern steamship. Constructed of heavy steel, not a gap in sight. No threads or needles or magnets could have been used. No, of course not. I thought so too. But Mr. Naruhodo suggested it earlier, so... Susato, you shipped it onto me like that! The seaman Stroganoff has a valid point. Cabin door couldn't have been bolted shut from the outside. Not necessarily. What? I put it to you that I could bolt this cabin door without laying a finger on it. And I'm gonna make Yunosuke prove it. And in this very cabin, we can see the traces of the method I have in mind having been used before. I don't believe it. Well, yeah, Mr. Naruhodo, I believe you know what I mean, don't you? But to shut the bolt of the cabin door from the outside. One way does spring to mind, yes. Yeah, of course I know what it means. And so should you, because we've seen it happen. Indeed we have. So, would you care to do the honors, Mr. Naruhodo? Point out the telling signs of the method that was used to slide the cabin door bolt across from the outside. Well, I can't present this. What do I present then?
Yes!
Oh, okay. I was expecting it to light up, but look at the bookcase there. See all the books and things on the top of it have toppled over? That must have happened when the ship made its emergency stop before. Yes, that's right. A very powerful vessel, after all. Oh, you know, they didn't even need the captain, did they? They could have just pressed the alarm and it would have stopped. So yeah, I guess the captain's not being dragged into this, but like, wouldn't he have known? I mean, I guess if Strong enough covered it up, but it's looking more and more like Pavlov was actually the culprit, right? But I still feel like it's not Harry. When the engines are thrown into reverse, a violent jolt goes across the entire ship. Any small objects that aren't fastened down are bound to fall over. I believe, yes, it's what's known as the force of inertia acting on the objects. As we still haven't explained the headaches, which, okay, theoretically that could be everyone hitting their head when the ship stopped, but like someone would have woken up. But, like, wasn't there even an alarm? Nothing Susato doesn't know? Wait, that isn't in her book at least? Whatever it's called. Same force that pushed over those books in the bookcase also made something else in this cabin move. The bolt on the cabin door. Ah! It's very obvious just after the emergency stop that the ship made earlier. We'd come into this cabin not long before, we hadn't bolted the door. But then... Hello, is anybody in there? Shout if you need assistance. Oh, that sounds like... Is that Hosonaga or Holmes? Okay, Hosonaga. Oh yes, yeah. That's it. The ship stopped suddenly. The bolt flew across and locked the door. Made of metal, small and light enough to be moved by the ship's sudden change of speed. Or the force of ineptia, you want to call it that. Are you trying to say that last night, after Mr. Isoki was killed, oh, they went all out on the budget for this, huh? It going so slowly is kind of funny. Is this Blue Ground made another emergency stop? When I woke up this morning and looked around the cabin, I thought it looked a little odd. All the books on the shelves had toppled over. All the ornaments. It's almost as if someone had run their hand across the shelves and deliberately knocked everything over. Yes, I remember that. I stood them all up again, didn't I? Then when we came into this cabin, I was surprised to see the same thing in here. Is this a new song? Like are those strings? Like, I don't think I've heard those before. All the books and everything had toppled over, just like in Mr. Asogi's cabin. Oh my! Do you have anything to say about this, Miss Pavlova? Are you out of your mind? Say Bruron made an emergency stop. This seemed a little far-fetched. How could that have possibly have happened? Was you saying that the culprit is actually someone from the engine room? Oh, it is simple enough. Are you forgetting the button in the passageway outside? Used to trigger the emergency alarm? Oh yes, of course. There's a notice, wasn't there? Telling you only to press the button in times of emergency. On dark nights when the fog is dense, the captain cannot afford to rely on the eyes of his lookout alone. Hence the placement of a number of buttons around the vessel to allow any crewman to raise the alarm. Sort of button? One is almost compelled to press to satisfy one's curiosity. Oh, he's looking away! Wait, it was you? Yeah, okay. Was Sholmes the one who pressed it earlier? When the button is pressed, two things happen in the interest of safety. The emergency alarm bell rings, the vessel comes to a complete stop. As indeed it did a little earlier today. Mr. Sholmes, surely it wasn't you who... As I always say, a button has but one purpose in life, to be pressed. I got it. Whatever the occasion. One's almost proud of himself. How dare you mess with ship? I report you to Captain. You are in much trouble now. No. Sure, all that can wait until later. Let us not overlook the fact that we have now learned a valuable lesson. When the vessel makes an emergency stop, the bolts in the cabin doors slide closed. So, what we must now consider is it all comes down to one thing now. Last night, after what happened to Mr. Asogi, did this ship make an emergency stop, or did it not? You're idiots. We are a huge ship with many passengers. We make emergency stop even in the middle of night. There'd be chaos everywhere. What are your thoughts, Mr. Naruhodo? I think I have a really bad headache right now. I can't think straight. Well, certainly possible. Some kind of emergency happened last night. We have evidence to support that idea. Really? What evidence, Mr. Naruhodo? The lack of entry on the log? Fascinating! Do show us, my good man. What evidence but most the theory? Some emergency gripped this vessel last night. I assume it's the ship's log.
Yes!
Seaman Stroganoff, it's your duty to patrol the first-class area of the ship. Isn't that right? Ah, that is correct. Why? In the ship's log here, this would be where you record the details of your duties. What are you doing with that? That is mine! Ah, you rather carelessly left it atop the little makeshift burial in the passageway out there. But as responsible passengers, we took it into our care with a mind to return it to you later. I left it there on purpose. It's where I always put it always. The point is, looking at what you usually record, it's clear that under normal circumstances, you get the phrase nothing to report every 30 minutes. But from 2 o'clock last night until first light this morning, nothing was recorded at all. Nothing recorded in the log? That is... because nothing happened. But if nothing happened, you would normally write nothing to report, wouldn't you? Oh. Indeed so. Shows us that shortly after 2 a.m., something happened here aboard the SS Buran. Something sufficiently significant to make you forget to fill in the ship's log, in fact. Are you suggesting The ship really did make an emergency stop in the middle of the night? Stop talking rubbish. If I'm perfectly honest, I find that a little hard to believe myself. Oh? Why? Well, if something as major as an emergency stop really had happened, surely all of us would have noticed. That's very true. Thanks to the emergency stop we experienced earlier, we all know what it feels like now. The ship lurched so violently, the alarm bell was so loud, can't imagine that anybody would sleep through that, even if it happened in the dead of night. Well, no, that's a good point. Okay, so this had to be premeditated, right? What of the throbbing? Pardon? Sorry, what do you mean? Please. Your head, man. The throbbing of your head since this morning. We've all suffered with it. Ah. Oh, yes. I've had a headache, you're right. In fact, I haven't been feeling myself since I woke up today. But if it was gas... Well, I guess it could have been after Kazuma died. Nor have I. My head has been feeling heavy ever since dawn. Yes, you've all been afflicted, haven't you? Just as I suspected. He's right. It's been throbbing today, too. I guess, okay, it's the food then. Since eating dinner yesterday evening, everything has felt sort of hazy. Which means it's premeditated, which means it can't be Pavlova. She's being framed. Can't really remember anything that happened after I climbed back inside the wardrobe. And the first thing I noticed this morning was the throbbing pain in my head. I'd already been dragged out of the wardrobe and had those handcuffs put on me by that point. Why didn't I wake up when all that was happening to me? Tell me, Mr. Naruhodo. You boarded this vessel as a stowaway, didn't you? Oh, yes. Sorry. It was mentioned that Kazuma didn't eat the dinner, right? Right? I'm not wrong? I forget, is it? The stowaway class of accommodation doesn't usually include meals. What did you survive on? Oh, well, Kazuma looked after me. He was always happy to share his meals. So you enjoyed some of the whole roast chicken dish that was served yesterday evening, I take it? Is it because Buddhists don't eat chicken? Am I remembering that right? But yes, in fact, I had all of that. Kazuma wasn't fond of chicken. Okay, he just wasn't fond of chicken. I'm overlapping that with something else. I think that's true though. That I think it was much earlier in Japan's lifetime, but so the victim didn't eat any of the chicken at all. That's right, he didn't touch it. Is that relevant? My dear fellow, does that not strike you? Oh, Mr. Sholmes, do you mean to say that there was something wrong with the chicken? I do. No, really? Is that really true? The meal prepared for the passengers last night had been tampered with. Tampered with by the addition of a sulfuric designed to induce how do you say that? Soporific? Soporific? I don't know. That induced a very deep slumber in those who consumed it. A sleeping drug? Do you mean whoever did this laced every meal with a sleeping drug so no one would notice the ship's emergency stop? Mr. Naruhodo, of course that's not what Mr. Sholmes means. What a far-fetched idea. Precisely. Lacing every meal of every passenger on board with a soporific drug would certainly be impossible. Unless, that is, every single member of the crew was a conspirator. What? Mr. Sholmes? Well, Seaman? You know, maybe we should hold this argument for when we land in Hong Kong. You know, maybe, you know. I'm sorry to say that any more deception in this matter will get you nowhere. If you refuse to talk, there'd have to be an inquiry made through the shipping company, of course. And were that to happen, every member of the crew, and the captain himself, would be hauled over the coals for aiding and abetting a renegade. He's looking mighty sus right now. Please, no more. I'll tell everything. Is she in on it? Cannot make problems like this for everyone anymore. These crewmen are your former comrades, I believe? Yes. So when I decided to run away, I asked them to help me. We all agreed to help. Everyone together. We threw away everything. Her fame in the ballet. Mother Russia wanted to help our angel. I don't believe it. You are right. We put sleeping drug in chicken last night. So I remember now. Didn't notice chewing on a lump of something strange and bitter. I wanted to bite you. I just kept eating it like normal because it tasted very yummy. Did not make all drug. What do you say? Dissolve. Talk about heavy seasoning. At midnight, waters near Shanghai, we brought our angel on board. Oh! That's why. Oh, okay. He was helped by comrade on shore with small fishing boat. All the passengers of the SS Bourgeois slept soundly. Thanks to the almost magical effects of the slumber-inducing potion their evening meals had contained. So if that's what happened, the only people awake on the ship last night were the crew, people who dislike chicken, and the newly boarded passenger, Miss Pavlova. That means it would have been possible for you. You could have used the emergency stop trick to lock Kazuma's cabin door. But how does that make sense? Surely every cabin door would have ended up locked in that case. It would have been a complete chaos. Oh, I wouldn't say so. Everyone would be in their rooms. What? Of course. Just like us, all the other passengers would have eaten their evening meal of chicken in their cabins, after which they would have been overwhelmed by tiredness because of their sleeping drug. Quite accordingly, all passengers were already in their cabins for the night. Yes! That's my line. The overwhelming majority of passengers would habitually sleep with their cabin doors bolted anyway, so not one of them would have found it remarkable to find the door locked in the morning. In summary, in order to fasten the bolt of a single cabin door on the ship, the culprit brought the entire vessel to an emergency stop in the early hours of the morning. You have talked a long time and said many things. What is point? The point is, what I said earlier. There was somebody else present on the scene when the victim lost his life last night. Someone who left a message in Russian on the floor in an attempt to incriminate another. Someone who tried desperately to hide the broken fragments of glass that reveal the culprit's identity. And someone who abused the ship's emergency stop procedure in order to lock a door. All told, a busy night. But I don't know about any of this. No, you're making me sus of you. I'm just a little girl. You like to speak with your long English words and explain your clever ideas. But I am Sailor. Sailors don't listen to long, boring stories. We don't believe. Sailors like me, just only what we see with our eyes. A laudable trait. What? I'm quite of the same disposition, my good man. Observation of me is everything. Mr. Naruhodo? Oh, yes? You hear it? That accusatory cry of guilt on the wind? What accusatory cry of guilt? Sorry, you've lost me. Proof of involvement, man. But you can't hear such a call with your ears. No, you must hear it with your eyes. Your observation is the basis of all deduction. What are you talking about? Yeah, you lost me, Holmes. I believe the time has come for a new minigame. For one final logic and reasoning spectacular to expose the truth. Oh boy. 40 minutes in already? Oh. I think we're going to the end. So, Mr. Naruhodo, your assistance, if you please. With what exactly, Mr. Sholmes? With observation, my dear fellow. Oh, okay, it is a new minigame. Just as I said, these two provocateurs. Observation? Remember, Mr. Naruhodo, we know that somebody tried to fabricate evidence, don't we? By tampering with the scene of Mr. Asogi's death. What we're looking for is some trace of evidence that one of these two was there when it happened. Precisely. Delightfully quick to grasp my meaning. I'll see what I can see. Looking for a trace of evidence that shows someone else was there last night when Kazuma died. Left ear? Earring? What's for the... She has such petite ears among the beautiful hair. A little pink shells. And what's that? Something dangling down from her ear. Oh, that's an earring. The present moon part looks like as though it's made from wood. It's charming, isn't it? Women do seem to love adornments like that. And their hair around their necks, their fingers, even hanging from their ears, it seems. Jewelry is beautiful, Naruhodo. Yeah, Naruhodo just discovered jewelry for the first time, right? I don't know what the connection to the earring is, but it's there. Is there anything else? Sailor's hat? Okay, so that chunky arm. Yeah, the chunky arms. Is there anything under his head? Have you noticed something significant about Seaman Strogonoff's hat? Oh no, sadly not. I was just thinking that if only we found it in Kazuma's cabin, it'd be all so easy. That's true. Hat dropped at the scene would have been very conclusive evidence. Oh, that's a point. Sure, I saw your university uniform hat at the scene of the... Oh, shut up. It's not a point. It's not one I'd like you to make. Is it the earring? Oh! Her... Was there an earring at the scene of the crime? Yeah. Something attached to her ear. I think that's what's called an earring. A little piece of jewelry. I know what an earring is. Part is missing, maybe it broke off. If that's the case. Doesn't appear to have noticed that it's broken. So I guess it is her, huh? Okay.
Yes!
No? Notice the dainty jewelry you're wearing on your ears, Miss Pavlova. Okay, it is it? But... But is there an earring in here somewhere? Maybe he's clutching it in his hand. Does anything mention that? No. I really don't know where this is. I do not remember an earring at all. Kazuma's journal? Beckle, no? Mark on the floor? I do not remember running into it. Where would I find a piece of those earrings in Mr. Asogi's cabin? Beyond doubt you were there. Although, we haven't actually found anything yet, so okay. What precisely was your intention with that, Mr. Naruhodo? Following the natural progression of detection. Sometimes the truth hurts. They baited me in on that one. Okay, we lost an HP. How exactly were we supposed to show that someone else was there when Kazuma died? They give two possible ways. We find a trace of something that the person in question left behind at the scene, or, that's not possible, a trace of something that the person took away from the scene, be that accidentally or deliberately. Trace of something someone took away. If you observe closely enough, I think you'll find examples of both. Give them a long, hard, and uncompromising stare from all sides. That's my advice. I like how they just stand there while, Yunosuke just kind of goes above them. He has a step ladder right now. Sorry. Fixing my glasses. Can I? Hi, what's ink stain? Oh, look at this. I'm gonna stain. An unusual place. It's like ink, if I'm not mistaken. Ink? Where have we seen ink before? I don't remember. Hey, where this came? No, I don't know where that came from.
Yes!
See, man, Stroganoff? You have quite a large purple stain on the back of your white uniform there. I wonder if that earring's gonna get brought up, or if that was just a red earring. But oh yes, I don't know where the dirt comes from. So nothing in particular comes to mind about the stain. What are you trying to say? It would appear that the significance of the stain has escaped your attention, man. Allow us to make it plain. Very large purple stain on the back of his uniform. I think what made it is clear. Indeed it is. So, Mr. Naruto, yeah, present the evidence that proves it. My pleasure.
Yes!
Yes. This photograph and the ink it shows. That's what caused the stain on your uniform. Ink? Rather unusual color of ink. Purple. Ah! Ah, the penny drops. At last. Now you see the significance. The Russian word on the floor next to the victim's body was written in purple ink. Stand on the back of your uniform is ink of exactly the same color. The ink had been dry, couldn't possibly have stained your uniform in that way. Which means you must have been present in the cabin in the moments immediately after the ink was spilled. Alright, yes. It was me. I did it. Everything. But why would the ink spill when he was in the cabin? Because he killed Kazuma. It wasn't an accident. I arranged everything in dead student's cabin. Make it look like Wardrobe Man did it. Then I pressed button to make Booga do emergency stop. Bolt cabin door shut. And how did he know I was here? Did just everyone know about it? They just laughed at me the whole time? Everything so no one would suspect our angel. Chief, please. Don't worry, Angel. Let me do talking. It's after 1 in the morning. I was on duty, patrolling passageway. Then our angel came to me, just white like sheet. If please, you must help me. I went with her. The door to cabin number 1 was open. When I looked inside, a student boy on the floor. What happened here? Please, don't tell anyone. My little one, my little furry friend. Everything that happened in cabin is like Angel told you. Kitten escaped through the ventilator into Mr. Asoki's cabin. Then he tripped over and broke his neck when he fell to the floor. Yes, that is right. So after the incident when the cat ran away, Pavlova then visited the cabin next to hers, only to find its occupant lying lifeless on the floor. She said she was worried when she heard the sound of something falling on the floor, so when she went to look. No, Angel? They're lying! The door was not locked, so she opened to look, and you already know what happened after. Just one thing, if you wouldn't mind. What? When you went to Mr. Asoki's cabin as Pavlova, was he already dead? Why? Already told you. You know, open door of student's cabin. Looked inside. I was asking Miss Pavlova. Well, Miss Pavlova? Ah. Oh. Yes, that is right. I saw him. It was dark. He was wearing black, but he was on the floor, not moving. So he could have still been alive. She didn't check the pulse. I was scared. I understand, and I believe you. Is that finally it now? Have we discovered the real truth about Kazuma's death at last? It wasn't an accident. Oh, something very nearly slipped my mind. Oh, Mr. Sholmes? This photograph? Yes, I took this myself, you know? Are we finally addressing the question how they knew he was in the wardrobe? The cause of death was a broken neck. Therefore, the victim died instantly. The unfortunate incident that precipitated these events, a kitten, which the victim stumbled. However, those are the facts. One particular area in this photograph seems to be somewhat unnatural. Something else? Besides the writing? What do you mean unnatural? What are your thoughts on the matter, Mr. Naruhodo? Oh, well... Kazuma tripped and fell. Some terrible stroke of bad luck broke his neck. Which part of this photograph print seems... We've already addressed this, but we're going at it again. Unless it's like, he has something in his fist, like I said.
Yes!
This warding Russian clearly wasn't written by Kazuma. So if you're looking for something unnatural, that's the obvious point. Very true. Certainly peculiar. Not what I meant by unnatural, I'm afraid. Ah, come on, don't, I better not lose HP for that. That particularly crass detail is orchestrated by the culprit. I need to identify another point. Oh, I see. Imagine, if you will, losing your footing yourself. In my opinion, you landed as the victim appears to have done here. Be most unnatural. Sure, you'll reach the same conclusion. Your hand would be open trying to like catch yourself on the floor. Is that what he's at? How thoughtful you are, Mr. Sholmes. Thank you for your gentle guidance. And he didn't really land on his neck here. I don't know if it's his hand or his neck. Like, it looks like he fell on like his chest, right? Like, eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
Yes!
Oh, no. Let me offer you a piece of advice regarding the pursuit of detection, my dear fellow. When missing a crucial point, be helpful to keep your eyes open. Come on, it's a fair point. The way he fell, he probably wouldn't have hit his neck. That's fair. Come on, shut up, Susato. Oh, no, we already went into that. We can't skip this, even though we've already read this because it's technically a different scene. We're turning skipping back on. Okay. Is this his hand?
Yes!
But if he really fell to an unfortunate accident, okay, this is it. Then this fist just doesn't seem quite right. The exact same thought occurred to me. In a fall, one's instinct is to open the palms flat. Yet here we see the victim with his left hand tightly balled into a fist. Almost, you might say, as though he were gripping something. Is it the earring? What do you mean? Simply that I took the liberty of investigating the victim's fist a short while ago. You did? And what, pray, do you imagine I found there? My dear fellow. Mr. Sholmes? Sholmes, please, yeah, please. I can't keep having this back and forth on who's the culprit. Why, of course, my dear madam. Can I keep you in suspense? The earring. This is what I found. Oh, A crescent moon with a little gemstone in the middle. Yes, you're right. Crescent moon. Very pretty. What does it tell us? Tells us nothing. Not so sure. A crescent moon looks... It's familiar somehow. I've seen it somewhere before. Observation! That's the key. Yeah. The crescent moon covered between Kazuma's clenched fist. This is the final clue. The last piece of the puzzle. Ask yourself, what does this little crescent moon mean? What significance has it? And observe! Find the answer with your own eyes.
Yes!
Miss Pavlova, I noticed that on your ear. Even though you have a metal earring, the decorative part of it seems to be missing. The little link holding onto it must have broken, I suppose. What? Looking at your other ear? Notice the crescent moon. Ah! I don't believe it. Now, the missing crescent moon was found in the victim's clenched fist. Clearly, there's only one logical conclusion. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Narimoto? Yes. Miss Pavlova, Mr. Asoki must have grasped that crescent moon, pulled it from your ear. Perhaps just moments before he fell to the floor. At what point did this happen? Like, how did she break his neck though? So my guess of the timeline, right? Cat goes into the room, Kazuma trips. She goes to the next room over to get the cat and kills him? Like, is she like, was she sent here to kill him? Is this political? He's like, Kazuma just happening to die is weird to me. In other words, last night, Mr. Asoki's cabin, you witnessed the moment when the victim fell with your own eyes. In fact, you're quite literally at arm's length from him. Are you saying Kazuma got pushed to death by a 15-year-old girl? He's like, I don't know if I believe that. Like, the question is, why did Mr. Asoki do that? Why did he pull your earring from your ear and hold it in his clenched fist during his final moments? Oh no. Angel? No one can protect you now. Please, Miss Pavlova, tell us the truth. Last night, what did you do to Kazuma? Oh, we got her. Someone just shot her. When I think about everything that happened yesterday, it was too much. Running away, fishing boat in the middle of the night, trying to climb onto this huge ship. And then, when I was at last in this cabin and I could relax after this horrible, long day. Darka, wait! Couldn't believe it when she disappeared through the ventilator. I tried to call her with little whistle, tried waving her favorite toy, but nothing worked. Darka would not come back. You know, we still haven't seen Kazuma's body. He could still be alive. He just did all this to prank us. Punk. What are you doing here at this time of night, Inspector? What? Oh. I'm sorry. That was a friend of mine. The young man from your country? He was very polite and kind. He helped me to find Darka, and he promised not to tell anyone. But then, when I had my friend in my arms again, I was going to leave the man's cabin. What, did like your disguise fall off? Just a moment. Sorry, but... yes? Sure, I know your face. Seen you somewhere. Oh, she didn't even have the disguise on. Seen you somewhere before. Oh, actually, he's just hitting on her. I've seen you in my dreams. Not in a newspaper. Of course. You're Nikolina Pavlova, aren't you? The Russian ballerina. Huh? No, I don't know that name. My heart nearly stopped when he said that. He knew who I was. How could this man from a land in the faraway east know a Russian ballerina? Yes, I saw your performance in Japan. The beauty of the ballet made a deep impression on me. But, what are you doing on this ship? Sure that I read your ballet company is performing in Shanghai at the moment. I can't fool him. I have to tell him the truth? Hope he doesn't tell anyone. I have no other choice. I see. So you've run away. Please, please keep my secret. Don't tell anyone. Give me a moment. Could use another opinion here. Yunosuke, hey, in the closet. Oh. He is gonna go ask Yunosuke and he's gonna pull that cord. He's gonna tell the captain. Why did I think I could trust him? Then it happened. Everything at once. It's only a second, but felt like forever. Wait, I shouted, and then Darkit jumped out of my arms and down to the young man's feet. And as he turned around to look at me, oh, he hit the bedpost. Okay, I pushed him. I don't even know why. I don't know why I did it. I was just so scared. And I had to stop him from telling anyone about me. And that's when you went to fetch help? From Seaman Stroganov, who was on duty out in the passageway. I heard Nina cry out and thud on floor, so I ran to her. She was standing at cabin door, shaking like a leaf. She looked at me and said, "Help me, Beef." Wait, his name is Beef. They find out I will be? Please, I have nowhere to go. So you decided to help. That's when you arranged things in Kazuma's cabin to make it look like I did it. So that no one would suspect the passenger in the cabin next door. Yes. Went into cabin and looked around. Make sure there's nothing to show Nina was there. Then I found Stowaway. In wardrobe. Still sleeping. Right. That's when he found me. So you worked out a plan. Lay the blame on the Stowaway. I closed wardrobe doors, put back strange paper sign. Luckily for me, the only reason Susato-san started to believe me when I was innocent. Dragged young man's body to good place, used ink that was spilled to write on floor. Yo, wardrobe. So the person who found him would look inside the wardrobe and find Stowaway. And tell me, what did the glass bell? It was by my feet, so I picked it up. I see. But it was dark in the cabin. I didn't notice the other half. Then Angel went back to her cabin. I finished job. Pressing the emergency alarm button in the passageway. Yes. Accordingly, Mrs. Burrot did indeed come to an emergency halt a little after 2 a.m. thus enticing the bolt on the cabin door to slide shut, creating the locked room mystery. Still, one thing I don't understand is Pavlova. What? Well, so that you told Kazuma about the fact that you'd run away from your homeland. Because you were worried he was going to tell the captain that you pushed him. Isn't that right? Yes. But even if he had pulled the bell cord and called for the captain of the ship, he already knew she's evil! Assassin! Aren't you friends with every member of the crew? Why would that have been a problem? It was what he said first that made me scared. He said first? What are you doing here at this time of night, Inspector? Oh. Sorry. That is a friend of mine. He said an inspector was his friend. Meaning me, who was supposed to be acting as his bodyguard. Thought that if police knew about me, they would arrest me. So before he could pull the bell cord, May I stop you a moment, please, Miss Pavlova? It just doesn't seem to make sense. I mean, Mr. Asogi really gonna pull the bell cord? I don't know. What? What do you think, Mr. Naruhodo? Well, not Kazuma, so I can't know for certain, but he was a man of his word. He told you he wouldn't give your secret away, then he wouldn't have done. No, he was walking over to it. He's gonna pull the cord. He's gonna make them send me back. Well, Mr. Naruhodo, the day's work is not yet done. He was going to the wardrobe. It's one more deduction to make. You already said that. Another deduction? Yes, what action was the victim really about to take at that moment? Can we determine whether the young man's gaze was directed? Don't play the inspiring music. First, consider the victim's location. Yeah, okay, look. Yes. Yes. We're using the gaze of a scene we didn't see to determine where it landed. Yep. What was the Kazuma looking at?
Take that!
Wardrobe. Considering everything that happened last night, certainly it may have looked as though Kazuma was going to ring the bell cord. Yes, however, what is directly besides the bell cord? The wardrobe. The wardrobe? And more importantly, what was inside the wardrobe? The man's great friend, sleeping soundly. Miss Pavlova, please think back very carefully. What were Mr. Asogi's exact words last night? Give me a moment. Could use another opinion here. Another opinion? Yes, but not from a member of the crew. No, Mr. Asogi tended to consult his close friend on the matter. Or is this making me tear up? To see if between them, they might be able to help in some way, no doubt. Oh no. Sadly, we can't know the truth for certain now. It's too late for that. Wish you had made sure of what Mr. Asogi was looking at. Things may have ended up very differently if you had. Miss Pavlova, I want to thank you for finally admitting the truth. But also, like, you know, I do kind of not like that, you know, you framed me for murder, killed my best friend. That's not cool. But thanks for admitting the truth. But unfortunately, the truth is, the man lost his life because of what you did. And that will never change. Hope you'll never forget that. I'm sorry. Really? I'm so sorry. What have I done? So at long last, the mystery surrounding the tragic accident on the SS Bura was finally laid to rest. Of January, 7/14. This, I don't know what day we were on before. I forget. What will happen to Miss Pavlova now then? She's going to the Hong Kong courts? Once we reach Great Britain, she'll be handed over to the British police at Scotland Yard. Okay. What about the fact that she ran away from Russia? Won't the Russians try to repatriate her? Apparently, the English detective can speak to the immigration office and sort all that out. Mr. Sholmes can do that? So she won't be going back to Russia then? No, I don't think so. Even if she wanted to return in the future, doubt she would be able to. She ran away, so now she's in exile for life. See. I'm sorry. See, man, strong enough? I wanted to help our angel, no matter what. But I didn't think about you. But how you lost good friend. Oh, he's actually a nice guy. I will go with Nina. I'll give myself to British police. It's kind of you. Hey, where'd they go? In the meantime, thank you for letting me go free again. Kazuma's death feels like such a waste, but well, do what you can for Miss Pavlova, won't you? Ah. Well, afraid you need a pack now. We're due to arrive in Hong Kong tomorrow. As much as it pains me, I'm going to have to hand you over to the consul to arrange your passage back. No! Back to Japan. Yes. Did stow away after all. Couldn't really expect any different. I thought I was going to go in Kazuma's place. So you should get back to your cabin now. Looks like my study tour to Great Britain is over before it even begun then. To think that only days ago, Kazuma and I were laughing together about how we tear up the streets of London. Seems like a distant memory now. Oh, what's that? Is it someone weeping? Oh, hey, Susato. Susato-san? Naruhodo, I didn't know you had returned. Oh, well, haven't been back long. Dr. Hosonaga told me I should pack. You know, I need to leave the ship tomorrow and all that. I still can't believe this has happened. Can't believe someone's life can be over just like that. Susato. We're still going to Britain though, right? I'm going to do his mission in his place. It's such grand ideas for this visit to Great Britain. So many dreams. Now they've been cruelly taken away. He's just, look, he faked his death. He's gonna be back for the final case of the second game, okay? They haven't shown us his body yet. He's not dead. Now they've been just as he has. I thought I could never forgive the person responsible. But now we know the truth. That it was just an accident. Just a silly series of mishaps. It's too much, Naruhodo-san. Just too much. Yes, I know. Wish there was something I could say. Sholmes? Oh, Hosonaga. Inspector. My duty was to see Yosogi-san safely to Great Britain. But I failed. Caused his two closest friends great pain and suffering as a result. Let everyone down. I'll do anything to make up for my terrible blunder. Nobody blames you, Inspector. I'm free again now. Huh? Shut up, Sholmes. Surprised, Mr. Naruhodo. What is the meaning of this? Oh, a trifling matter. Oh, is he dragging me to Britain himself? Suddenly that in my head, I think I shall always picture you wearing those shackles. Without them, the balance seems all wrong. It's distracting. Sorry. I decided to restore them, for old time's sake, shall we say? Or stowaway, after all. He thinks this is funny? Mr. Sholmes? We do appreciate all your assistance. I'd like to thank you from the bottom of my heart. Not at all, not at all. That's a little late. May I offer my sincere condolences? The loss of your companion is truly heartrending. Hope that you'll be able to fulfill some of his aspirations in his honor. Afraid that won't be possible. We shall be disembarking at the next port in Hong Kong. We have to return to Japan, make a full report about everything that's happened. What? Wait a minute. Just me that has to go back, isn't it? I mean, I was the stowaway. Well, they were only here because Kazuma, right? The terms of the study tour were negotiated by the Department of Justice in both Great Britain and Japan. There was to be one lawyer and one assistant. Was to be. In light of Mr. Soki's unfortunate death, I'm afraid the study tour can no longer go ahead. Oh no. Care for me, but... Or Susato. My dear fellows, the majority of problems have an extremely simple solution, you know? All you require is one lawyer. Study tour can continue, surely. Hey, that's me! But there is no one else with the necessary qualifications, Mr. Sholmes. We know of no other lawyer. Qualifications, you say? Any qualifications obtained in your own country will be of little value in Great Britain, I'm afraid. Oh, but anyway, the voyage to London still promises a good month of time. Ample opportunity, I would say. Find yourselves another suitable lawyer. Yes? Miss Susato? Yes? Do you think perhaps I might be able to do it? Ah, hey! You're not a what do you mean? You're in case one. Oh, unless... Are you studying law? No, I'm not, but... Sorry. In that case, I have a month to study. Don't think that there's even a chance it could work. But as I said, there's still more than a month before we're reaching England's shores. Isn't that right, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes, I have a month in which to study, to learn what I must to become a lawyer in Great Britain. Mr. Naruhodo? That's ridiculous. Seriously suggesting anybody can learn all that in just 40 days? There's only one way to find out. Work my fingers to the bone, Inspector. Every single day. Will you let me try? And if, by the time we reach Great Britain, I haven't learned enough to be recognized as a lawyer, I'll take whatever punishment is deemed appropriate. But, why put yourself in such a difficult position? For Kazuma. He said that there was something he had to do in Great Britain. Oh, shoot. I knew leaving Skip on would kill me somehow. He would sacrifice anything to make it happen. He was passionate about it. Can't let all that passion just come to nothing. Anyway, for my own benefit too. I'll become a lawyer. I have to. What do you say, Miss Susato? Oh, she smiled! Is that the first time she actually smiled? I think it's a wonderful idea. Thank you. So, what does a bespectacled inspector friend say? Are you serious? One lawyer and one assistant. The numbers are indisputable. No, it's madness. Yet fascinating, wouldn't you agree? Fascinating. Duty and rules are the dual routine of existence that we all have heard. Give us interest, give us fascination. Speak for yourself. Besides, qualifications are no measure of a man. What matters is his character. And you've witnessed ample evidence of this man's exemplary character today with your own eyes. From the early hours of this morning until the very moment now. Despite contending with the passing of his close companion by the accusation of guilt, this man has shown resourcefulness, intelligence, above all, courage. Very well. I'll think of a clever way to word my report to the Department of Justice. Inspector! After all, I did just make a promise, didn't I? I said that I'd do anything at all to make up for my shortcomings here. Oh, thank you, Inspector. I wonder if I'm ever gonna like impersonate Kazuma at some point. If you'll excuse me, let's pay a visit to the captain's quarters, I think. You need to discuss what to do next, how best to make my report. Don't get beaten up again. Oh, hey, he fixed his glasses. Just now noticed that. You probably another bear, I guess? Don't think too hard about it. You really prepared to attempt this, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes, going to try. I wonder, would you consider teaching me what I need to know? Everything about being a lawyer. So Susato actually knows a very good trilogy of games for the Game Boy Advance. They were ported to the DS later. I'd be delighted to help you. I am a judicial assistant after all. Thank you. And, Mr. Naruhodo? I'd like you to take charge of this. Oh, I get a sword! What, me? You sure? I'm sure it's what Kazuma-sama would have wanted. His name is Kazuma, the Great Sword, been in the Soki clan for generations. Very well, I accept. I'll treasure it, always. So then, Miss Susato, things will be working together for some time to come yet. For like, 8 more cases probably. That'll be an honor, Mr. Naruhodo. She has all of British law in that book. For the next 40 days, I shan't grant you a single minute of freedom. She'll fill every spare moment with study. Yes, it's exactly what I need. But before we begin, I have an earnest favor to ask of you too. Goodness, what is it? Go take a bath. He hasn't bathed in 15 days. Please throw me to the ground. Oh, 3 times. What? Should never have doubted you. You were Kazuma-sama's closest friend. Of course you would never have done anything to hurt him. That should have been obvious to me from the start. But I allowed suspicion to get the better of me. No matter how upset I was feeling, completely unforgivable behavior. No, you were in shock. You just found out about me stowing away. The cabin door was locked from the... No! I won't let you make excuses for me. Whatever the circumstances, I should never have thrown you. Not just once, but 5 times? Did it happen 5 times? Yeah, I am glad they're not just brushing it off as haha comedic violence. So what was it, the Susato takedown? Number keeps creeping up, doesn't it? Please, you must. Take hold of me and throw me. Do it! Don't even think, what if I got a microphone activated? Susato takedown. No, I don't even know how. Never thrown anyone in my life. Very wise, Mr. Naruhodo. This isn't a skill one acquires without considerable training. Was he here for this whole talk? Oh, Mr. Sholmes. I observed your throwing technique several times with great interest. Confess I was most impressed. And did he see that? I presume that would be a form of Japanese wrestling? Oh, well, in a way. Not wrestling. My own interpretation of an ancient jujutsu technique. You watched, what is it, Jujutsu Kaisen? I haven't seen or read it, but that's what everyone's talking about nowadays, right? It's called Susato Takedown. Leaves your head swimming, believe me. How beguiling. A practitioner of a combative Birdsu! No, I'm a somewhat accomplished boxer. There he goes, dancing around again. What if you'd be so kind as to instruct me on the technique of your arresting throw? Wait, he gets the name wrong. Instead of Jujutsu, he calls it Buritsu. Is this the origin story of it? Yes, I'd be honored. Then let us not dally. Demonstrate, my dear madam. Oh, of course. Are you ready, Mr. Naruhodo? Wait, why on me? No, comedic violence! I just died. He threw me into the bedpost. As you can see, you throw from the abdomen. Oh yes, resting indeed. That's what you term the Susato takedown, is it? Actually, No, that's just a Suzato squash. Oh, of course. Is that how they end the case? My groggy state of consciousness, a scene from an evening recently spent with Kazuma flickered into my mind. Oh, this case is going on. Okay, we're on the... I thought we were further than 90 minutes in. Kazuma? That's right. The prized sword that's been passed down through generations to the Asogi clan. Can't believe you managed to get permission to bring it with you. I mean, taking a katana on a study tour is more than a little irregular, surely. The Japanese man's sword is the soul, Yunosuke. Can't be part of it, my katana. Kazuma guides me. Truly believe that. But what if he could talk to us through the sword? His name compels his wielder to slice evil in two? Not that you need much compelling. On that subject, there's something very important that I have to do in Great Britain. I'll sacrifice anything to make it happen. Appreciate you seeing it through with me. Of course I will. Whatever it is, I'll see it through to the end. I knew you wouldn't let me down. That important thing he had to do. Still don't know what that was. But I'm gonna see the place for myself and work it out. In Great Britain's capital, London. Ooh. And this is a decent case. I think it definitely could have been shorter though. Like, didn't I say the same thing about case 1? Case 3 better not have a female villain with a prominent male character who sims for her, is all I'm saying. They did that twice in a row. Although obviously, you know, in case 2 they made her apologetic. Which, how many actually remorseful villains has Ace Attorney had? Not too many. Anyway, the adventure of the runaway room. I know what that's about. Investigation part 1. Then it places multiple parts of the investigation. Again, please let me go back to court. Anyways, I'll see you guys next time. It is like 80 degrees in my room, so I am gonna go never play Ace Attorney again until winter. See you guys then. Bye.